Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Big Blue, and we are back, and we're here with another video. This one's gonna be from the homie Charles Kirk once again. So far, we've seen two videos from Charlie. Homeboy has not said anything that I disagree with just yet, which is very interesting. To me, he's been pretty legit. So this is gonna be another one. This actually happened recently. I want to say 2 weeks ago. It says, should we judge people by the color of their skins? Check it out.
Hi, my name is Erin. I'm a student here, and I'm an African American Studies major. But one thing I do agree with that you haven't said tonight is the school choice thing. I do agree that you should be able to go to a school that's outside of your zip code. I went to a great high school. That's exactly why I was able to come here. But my other question is that what are some examples of...
Hold on. Critical race theory. Critical race theory is an interdisciplinary academic field focused on the relationships between social conceptions of race and ethnicity, social and political laws, and media. CRT also considers racism to be systemically in various laws and rules, and not only based on individual prejudices. Okay, but this says CRT, critical racism tour, which is slightly different, but let's go ahead and keep watching.
Critical race theory, because I know like another question that another girl came, she said that she had to learn CRT in her sorority, and what I thought it was is that
in the sorority
you should know how to interact with people of other races, because I went to a school where it's mostly Caucasian people, and I had to learn how to interact with other people. So is it something like that, or is it something deeper that we don't really know?
No, it's super simple. So let me just kind of ask you, I bet we agree. Do you support black-only dormitories?
Well, when I think of black-only dormitories, I believe that you're talking about like maybe HBCUs, because it's mostly black people.
No.
Where are these?
Western Washington University, public school in Washington, has black-only dormitories. Is that something you would support?
I mean, I would probably live in one, but I mean that.
Wait, so you don't want to live with white people?
I didn't say. I mean, I didn't say that, but I mean, it's kind of hard sometimes. Like I have multiple. I mean, I have a lot of white friends or whatever, but and sometimes I mean, it's hard to fit in here when you go here and you're a different color. I mean, it's not.
What would you support? White-only dormitories?
Oh shoot!
It's some around here. Not many black people go here, so it technically is white-only if you think about it.
No, it's not. No, I mean, let me ask you another question.
I don't think anybody here would. Oh, well, some people might, support that. I mean, I never said I supported any only kind of thing.
That's why I'm asking, right? I think that
Do you support white-only dormitories?
Absolutely not. I think it would be racist.
It's preposterous. I believe that.
And guess what? Black-only dormitories are racist too.
I mean, I guess so. I might live in one if I could, but I can't. So.
Okay. Well, let me ask you another question. At Columbia University, they have black-only graduation ceremonies. Would you support that?
I mean, if it's like, so are they not able to graduate with the white people? Is that why they can't?
Well, they have a separate ceremony just for black people.
Oh, I mean, I guess it's kind of like the separate ceremony when they don't want to go to graduation. They want to do it online. That's how I think of it.
So do you think segregation is evil and wrong?
I don't know.
I mean, black people weren't even able to join sororities here until 2012. So not the PhD one. So, segregation here. George Wallace stood in front of the doors.
I just know that's not true. And like,
okay, when were PhD sororities and fraternities desegregated? 2013. Oh,
so you're trying to tell me that black people were not able to join a fraternity because of the color of their skin?
Do you remember George Wallace too? Segregation now, segregation, for all, forever.
That's what
happened as well.
That's what you're espousing when you say that black-only graduation ceremonies or dormitories.
Black-only graduation ceremonies are the least of our problems, least of yours. Do you think that you'll be able to go to a HBCU and have this same turnout and have these same people? Let me tell you.
I would hope so, but I mean.
So what would you say to them?
But here's the thing. I'm sorry, what?
What would you say to a room full of black people about critical race theory?
You know what I would say? I'd say your skin color means nothing. You're made in the image of God.
You're right, but I completely agree.
Yeah.
But I can tell you right now. I'm a Christian. I believe in God, but I have been going here for 3 years. I'm a junior. I have. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I have most definitely faced racism and prejudice no matter what I believe in. And it's just really hard to sit up here and listen to people come up here and say, oh, I don't want to learn CRT. It's just making you able to interact with other types of people. I have no problem.
No, it's not. So let me just tell you. So at the Georgia public schools in Atlanta, they put black sixth graders in one classroom and white sixth graders in another classroom. Is that evil?
I've never seen. Can you show me a video of those kids?
Atlanta segregation of public schools.
Well,
it was
please
national
show me.
news.
Not to interrupt, but I have family members that go to schools in these areas, and I also have people who live in redlining districts where they can't go to good schools.
Do you support segregation?
No, I do not.
Okay, we agree. Therefore, black-only dormitories and black-only graduation ceremonies and putting sixth graders in one classroom based on skin color or the other, those are outgrowths of CRT.
So so tell me, give me an example of what critical race theory is. That was my first question.
I'll be happy to tell you. So critical race theory is an emphasis at saying skin color matters, that the color of someone's skin is important in judging the value of the human being.
I get that, but if you were teaching a class that is like that was talking about critical race theory, we were all sitting here.
Yes.
What would your lecture be? Like, tell me what are your points? Like, who is this author that you're reading from?
Herbert Marcuse, and an author by the last name of Spinoza, wrote a book called One-Dimensional Man in the 1960s. Herbert Marcuse came from the Frankfurt School in the 1930s, and he started this at Columbia University. Coming out of a Marxist belief of power dynamics, he believed that power struggles were not just the rich versus the poor, but also black versus white. And he wanted to expand the kind of conversation to also engage racial dynamics. Inherent in critical race theory is a belief that people are not individuals, they're members of tribes. Inherent in the idea of critical race theory is that there is no free speech or reason or scientific inquiry. These are white supremacist, Eurocentric constructs that have been put into the Western world. And the one that I think that is most prevalent, CRT believes racism is everywhere. That racism is the norm. That racism is within our systems, it's in our language, it's in our customs, it's in our codes, it's in all these sorts of things. Now that's a super quick version of what CRT is, so happy to dive into that more, but I think we don't have to overcomplicate it, which is, do you think people should be judged based on the color of their skin?
It's not that I think that, but it's that it's happening. And you cannot ignore that I might not be treated the same as him as he walks
You're
through the
right,
door.
it is happening. Like at Coca-Cola, they say they need to train their employees to abolish whiteness. At AT&T, they said they would need to train their employees to get rid of whiteness. We have a supply and demand issue with racism in our country. We have an incredibly low supply of racism and an incredible demand to try to fulfill it. So we've created racism where it doesn't exist and try to turn everyone into mini racists against each other, which has now manifested itself into a massive anti-white movement in our country where I believe, more than anything else, we should care about character, not skin color. Do you agree with that?
It's not, I don't believe that you understand what I'm saying. It's not that I don't agree with not, I'm sorry. Oh, it's not that I don't agree with, you know, what you just said, but you have to realize that black people are like, white people are not being hunted after. Y'all can come here and live a great freaking life. Alabama is a safe haven. The PhD fraternities and sororities are a safe haven
for
white people.
You think you're being hunted?
Let me tell. Okay, y'all can laugh, but until you have walked as a black person on this campus,
look, don't worry.
Y'all truly don't understand. And I've gone to school with white people my whole life. I've gone.
So
but it's just.
I will end with this. You're not being hunted at the University of Alabama. And there is no boogeyman that's trying to get you.
It's not. You're making it seem.
You live in the least racist country in the history of the world.
You're in Alabama. You are literally in the place where it's not okay.
You mean the place that has given you more talking time than any other person here, and where they sit respectfully. You're supposed to shut
me down and be like, go sit down? I mean, of course I'm going to talk to you.
That would have happened 100 years ago. You're right. 100 years ago, you might not have been allowed to come into this room, which would have been
bow to you because
evil. No, instead, we are here. We're creating a movement to say we never want to go back to the segregation that once existed in this country that is now being pushed by people in corporate America, in academia, and other places. We want to strive for a country that cares about character and the soul and the spirit of the individual, not on tribes, not on the melanin content in people's skin. And I will say this as compassionately as I can, is that you are not being hunted as a black person in America. There is not a single statistic that affirms that. There's not a single data point. Instead, the opposite is true. We are the least racist, most accepting, multiracial country in the history of the planet, and I pray one day you'll be thankful to live in that country. Okay. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you.
Everybody.
CJ, come here. Really quick. I have a question. Come here. Go right there. Right there. So CJ, just really quick, you're a black person. Are you hunted at the university?
You know, I don't feel hunted at this university, but I guess the difference between me and some people here is that I don't choose to be a victim, Charlie, which I think is the biggest problem we have here today are people who wake up every single day looking for a reason to be oppressed, looking for a reason to cry and make an excuse about why they're not in a position to go win. I don't see the color of my skin as a disability. I see it as...
Can he wait until sister left the left the conference area before he starts joning on her like that? Sheesh. Like I'm like, dang, bro, like calm down.
Simply an accessory that I couldn't control. I've been black all my life. I've been black today, and I'm thriving here. I think that's a roll tide right there, right? I don't know.
And so, CJ, let me ask you, CRT, racist?
It's not just racist. It's the exact iteration of white supremacy, just in reverse. I think it's important that we start teaching young people not to hate other people because of the color of their skin. We can teach black people to be proud of who they are without telling white people they should be ashamed of who they are. You know?
Amen.
Yeah.
So, closing thought, CJ. Is this trying to divide the country?
It's not only trying to divide the country, it's trying to break apart the foundation upon which it was built. You know, people forget the words of MLK, Rosa Parks, all those people who fought so hard for us to be a united country where we didn't see the color of someone's skin, but their character. This is about taking us away from the vision and the dream of Martin Luther King and just taking us to the dream of Kamala Harris. And I don't want to live that dream.
Amen. CJ, you're a great American. Give it up for CJ, everybody. So good. So good. God bless you, man. Everybody, this was great tonight. I want to thank some of the disagreements. It was great as always. Everybody, Alabama's a great state. It truly is. And I just want to say God bless this wonderful country and for everyone being here tonight. And in closing, the future
His hair's kind of crazy,
is dependent on what you do. If we act and if we're optimistic and solution-oriented, our best days are ahead. It is a gift from the Lord to live in America, the greatest nation ever to exist in the history of the world. God bless you guys, and roll tide. God bless.
Okay, very, very, very interesting takes. I had no clue what the heck CRT was, and I guess now I do. I feel like there's a lot more to it than what was actually said. I mean, of course there is. It's probably like books and books about it. Critical race theory. So essentially, from my understanding, kind of like in the last video that I did about race and being black, going to school and being black and stuff like that. And of course I mentioned, you know, me growing up here in Georgia, I went to a school system that was predominantly white. And especially when I went to school at Georgia Southern, I was, you know, walking around at odd times of the days, and then sometimes I get stopped by the police. Of course, I didn't give them no issues, but that's because I knew that I'm outside in areas that have been suspect. So of course they're gonna stop me. This is just what makes sense. That's, if I was a police, I would think that if this guy who's in an area that's been, you know, a drug bust or whatever, maybe he's up to something. I don't know. He's by himself. I don't know. But the idea of the whole segregation and race, being black, it's I feel like this isn't what people like MLK would have wanted us to keep focusing about that stuff, because clearly the opportunities that we're giving now weren't the same opportunities that we were given before. They fought for the right so that we can be in the situations that we're in now. I'm thinking, like, literally, I'm looking back at my life, and then there's white friends, not to say anything against them. I hope you don't say anything about my videos, but I've had white friends that grew up, and even though we don't talk much no more, I still have them on social media, and I look at, what they're doing with their lives, and I will say that I'm in a way better situation than they are, and they're white. And I lived in a part of town where it was more affluent white people. I mean, at this point in my life, it's kind of hard to really sit here and be like, oh yeah, the white people is out to get the black people. Oh, it's a struggle to be black, this, that, and the third. Yo, look, honestly, with this whole DEI nonsense that's happening with all the workplaces and whatnot, it seems like your chances of being black and getting a job just increase like tenfold. I don't know. It seems kind of like the focus is too much on being black and what happened before. And I mean, there's always going to be a stigma. There's always going to be prejudice. I mean, clearly black people have prejudice when it comes to white people. You just automatically assuming that white people are racist, and majority of the time they're more than likely not. They're probably just prejudiced, but that's not racist. Hell, I'm prejudiced. I'm prejudiced about a lot of stuff, but I also understand that I don't know who this person is, so I kind of got to take it by a grain of salt, as opposed to just automatically assuming until they start doing stuff that looks crazy. Then it's like, oh, okay, that's what you're about. So now I know, but it's I don't know. It's just a weird situation. And hearing about the schools segregating the black people to have their own stuff, how do you make it more apparent that they're trying to segregate? Yeah, the black people get their own graduation. At least it's not like they're not getting a graduation. But for what reason are we separating ourselves from white people, from other races? That doesn't make any sense. If I wanted to have a black graduation, I would have just graduated from an HBCU. How are we supposed to live in this world together? This just really causes a lot of separation. That's just baffling. And the interesting thing that they mentioned was about the whole, we're being racist towards white people. I don't want to say if it's racist towards white people, but I honestly kind of feel some type of oppression towards white people. And I know black people are probably going to be commenting like, yo, what are you talking about? White people are oppressed, this, and the third, all that stuff. But the stuff that I've been hearing lately, especially when it comes to like work and interactions that white people have with black people, and it's like they always have to walk on eggshells. And yes, everybody, I guess, theoretically should be walking on eggshells when you're at work, but it's like now white people had to be extra careful with what they say. They have to be mindful of everything that's going on. I don't think you have to sit here and keep segregating everybody just so that, or make them go through, oh snap. Wow. A thought just came in my head about something that actually did happen fairly recently, where a white lady was reprimanded about an honest incident where I understood at first, yeah, it may have sounded racist, but when you sit and think about it, it was an honest mistake, but she got reprimanded from it. And I think she's supposed to be taking like some Black history classes or something like that. Mind you, this is a work. This is an adult, and you're having to do this. I don't think we really need to get that deep to be like, oh, you have to understand Black culture. You gotta know what's going on with the Black people, the struggles, and this, that, and the third. You just gotta be around Black people, see what they're about, see how they living. If you're around people, then okay, cool. If you're not around people of other races, then I mean, I guess, yeah, encourage spending time with somebody of a different race, or have outings and stuff like that where you're around people of a different race. I don't know. There's easier ways to do this than everything that's just been going on. It's so weird. Anyways, interesting video. Once again, Charles, I will say that he did kind of downplay the whole Black thing and feeling like you're being hunted. I understand where that mindset comes from, but again, to the point that he was trying to make, we can't focus on that mindset of being hunted. We have to progress from that. That's what MLK would have wanted. That's what Rosa Parks would have wanted. I don't know about Malcolm. Maybe Malcolm would have been the one to sit here and stay in the thoughts of, oh, this is how they put us. We need to make sure that they stay down, something like that. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe he would have wanted us to progress. The idea is progression. We're at a point in our lives in America where Black people can progress from the way that things were before. And it's either you're not gonna pay attention to that and just, I don't know, and just stay in that mindset, or you're gonna progress. All the Black people that's doing good, that's genuinely doing good with their lives, they're not gonna sit here and think, yeah, I used to think the cops was gonna do this to me, do that to me. I used to think that this person was racist or that person was racist. They may have some weird situations and weird predicaments where they thought that was the case, but at the end of the day, they're gonna be like, nah, I got here because of my merits. I look forward. I've been given these opportunities, and I took it and I ran with it. It's as simple as that, y'all. Anyways, interesting video, interesting take. Charles, you get another plus. I take 1.5 points just because, or maybe just half a point because of the situation. But anyways, y'all like this video, go ahead and comment and subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy, peace.